think it should be both ears now. Test, test. Too low on mobile. Sounds good? Okay. Alright, let's get started then. So, I should have Git here. I'm gonna make a new Git branch real quick. Capital C, I forget. All these typos. There we go. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do first is I'm not sure how common these instructions are. I'm gonna add some errors to some instructions. Which instructions was I looking at? These ones. Nah, fuck. The x86 instruction. I'm gonna try recompiling something with this error message and see if anything is using these. Because the funny thing about these instructions is that these are PowerPC instructions, right? They're vector instructions. But on the Xbox 360, these instructions were removed to make space for some more floating point instructions. And so, in practice, they're not really used much in games because if you're writing like code for 7th generation consoles, you don't want to write code that's PowerPC code that's only going to run on one system. Let's see if we can actually find something that's using these. These ones, I'm going to remove it from these ones. I'm looking for the more interested in these ones. Yeah, it should be okay. Now I'm going to file this. Intel removing AVX512 from the processor. Has been any way to talk of a way to work around this to get some more performance? I mean, we're always optimizing for all instruction sets. I mean, right now I'm looking at using VNNI instructions, which are on both AVX2 and AVX512 machines. I have a playlist. Right now I'm just listening to Toho Bossa Nova. But yeah, other than, you know, AVX512, I've also been working on ARM just now. You know, I have this and some other pull requests I recently merged. I got the Odin 2, if you guys are familiar. You know, it's Android handheld basically, but I put Linux on it because I'm more familiar with that. And this pull request in particular boosted me from 27 to 37 frames per second on that ARM device, so that's pretty nice. I have a lot more optimizations written down, and it's going to make for an interesting video, I think. Because the performance uplift we should get is going to be real as fuck. How long it takes to compile? On Windows it takes way too long. Anyway, it's done. Let's to copy it from here, because my development environment is not refined here on Windows. Oh, it's already open. Copy it. Now, if I compile a game that has these instructions, we should see it. Go here. Stuff starts compiling. Nothing yet. I do I come up with such amazing ideas? This time, the ideas, like the PowerPC code that I'm optimizing, we don't optimize the PowerPC code too much because it's already fast to begin with. You know, it's similar ideas to the existing SPU code optimizations, which is more important because that's usually slower in RPCS3. Yeah, there's nothing. These instructions are too rare. This is Unreal Engine 3 game, so you probably didn't bother with these because, you know, the 360 didn't have these. This is unfortunate. I might do a different instruction first if I can't find anything that uses it. Yeah, RLWINM is pretty awesome. Some AI in my IDE. I updated my VS Code, and this is here. I'm not even logged in. Like, if I say use the AI features, I still have to log in. Well, I've never tried it within AI within IDE so far. I just, like, ask Gemini when I need something in the browser. Sorry, that game's probably way too loud. And no, it's not used, is it? Alright. Well, let's try one more game, then I might move on to something that should at least be in games. I do want to test something that I can verify the behavior of. I know The Last of Us actually uses these rare instructions, but I spilled water on my hard drive recently, which had all my games dumped, so no search tool for logs. I mean, I can open it up in a notepad, but right now my development environment isn't really set up on Windows. I always get rid of them, try to avoid AI when coding. Yeah. Maybe I'll just close this for now, sure. Right, I should be looking here. Ah, this game has one. One usage of one of these instructions. One more. Should have named these, okay, there we go. Yeah, dumped water on the game dumps. It's a 4 terabyte hard drive. Just dripped into the case through the power button. Actually happened to me once before, like a decade ago. My PC setup, it's 7800 X3D and 7900 XEX. How do you handle programming for multiple architectures? Well, since most of our code is just generic LLVM RER, it mostly just works on multiple instruction sets. The exceptions are stuff like shuffles, where we have to use, like for dynamic shuffles, we have to use pshuffb on x86, and we have to use TBL instructions on ARM. I have this open pull request where I added TBL for ARM versions, but for some reason it's bugged, and this is also way too loud. Sorry guys. I'm gonna lower RPCS3 volume. Anyways, for the most part, you know, most of these, like this is going to use CLZ if you have AVX512. On ARM, it's going to use CLZ if you have Neon, which is all ARM machines. And for everything else, it's going to fall back. Like, we don't have any special code for this. Like, LLVM is just going to figure this out. So it's pretty easy. Alright, so could have been more planned. See which instructions exist here. We're gonna work on them. Self-hiding taskbar. Sometimes it bugs out and it's actually there permanently. Why the Odin 2? I wanted something that has Linux installed, and I want stable, like, Mesa drivers, like the Eternif drivers. And I know recently Odin 3's got, you know, some working Mesa drivers, but I don't want to be compiling those from source every day and dealing with crashes. You know, I was more interested in, like, getting stuff working, optimizing, than actually having a device to play stuff on. Yeah, some parts of modern emulation development are easier. You don't have to deal with, like, timing issues so much. Like, casually play most often RPCS3. Demon Souls, Wipeout. See what I have here. Jog my memory. Played a lot of Ninja Gaiden 3. I have it on Steam, but this playtime's fake because this save file's taken from Linux. But I have Ninja Gaiden 3 on Steam. I played it for like a few minutes, but played through the whole game here on RPCS3. Does KD11 have a YouTube channel? Yeah, he does actually, but he doesn't have any deep dives, just a few short clips. Has your name always been What Cookie? Yeah, it's always been What Cookie. It's not What a Cookie, but I've had this name like in World of Warcraft for like 2 decades, and people have called me What a Cookie pretty often, so you're not the first. Anyways, let's copy this over. See what they're actually using. What a cookie? What cookie is your favorite? And I like making peanut butter cookies a lot because it's so easy. Just eggs, peanut butter, and sugar. Yeah, let's go. Find LVM does a good job compiling down to SIMD instructions. Yeah, generally for the most part. Because we're not like deciding like which instructions to do. Like we have to translate instructions. We don't get to place them in the order we want. There isn't so much to gain from like writing assembly by hand. Because like if you have a loop, a good example is in P-B here. Not P-B, Chef-B from the SBU instruction. Like you have all this code, and this code is like creating constants. And so when this instruction is called in a loop, this stuff is all, it's hoisted outside a loop, and so you're just doing the shuffling at runtime. On ARM, it's even better. Where I have it, where this is just creating the constants, and then at runtime, like if this is Chef-B is called in a loop, this is outside of the loop, and then we're just calling one instruction inside the loop. And that's a lot harder to do by ourselves, but LLVM just has that kind of optimization built in. And there's a lot of times when LLVM doesn't optimize things properly, there's going to be a lot of ARM pull requests because just things aren't being optimized, even though x86 and ARM have essentially the same instructions. There's just these times where like the optimizers are different between x86 and ARM, and so there's just these cases where an optimization works on x86 and not on ARM, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. Alright, so it's mostly this VSUM WSW instruction. Pretty much all that. Still experiment optimization CPU code? Yeah, this time I'm working on PowerPC code because something I never look at recently. So VSUM WSW. This one, not even sure what this instruction is. Let me go look it up. Some 4 signed integer elements. Oh, this isn't what I was thinking of. What were the ones with smaller sizes? Am I looking at the wrong instructions? I'm a moron. Thinking of the ones that were similar to VSUM B. What are my notes? VSUM 4 UBS. Yeah. Yeah, it's not used here. I don't think there's any reasonable way to accelerate this instruction. On ARM there will be, because there's a lot of good horizontal instructions on ARM. I'm going to move on to this one because I know how to use this. What exactly am I doing? Optimizing the PowerPC code. So, let's see. Duck fix NAND. VNAND. Spec handle man is what I need to look at. Alright. So. This is 2 instructions, right? So we do a comparison and then we do a select based off the comparison. Stuff, MPS. Need to look up which pattern I need. Do I think ARM is the future? Not exactly, but there's a lot of nice ARM devices and they're getting fast enough. And I know it's going to be hard for like x86 to do pocketable devices, not because I think x86 can't do it, but Intel and AMD aren't really interested, and ARM already has a bunch of stuff fast enough to fit in a pocket. So, let me double check how I was using this before. Flat with the pattern. Don't need anything for the M8, I believe that's what that is. And then I need this so that all of these pass, because for whatever reason this is only available as a masked instruction. Alright. Is it right in saying Chad, PS4 and RPCS3 have a drastically different way of emulation? If you're talking about x86 and x86, then yeah, but if you're emulating Chad PS4 on an ARM device, it's not going to be all that different. So, pattern I should use should be to review this again, it's confusing. You like jazz? Yeah. How do you choose where to optimize? Yeah, you can, we have, our own profilers built into RPCS3 hidden behind some settings. I don't know if I have debugs mode on here. No, I don't. But if you change something in a config file, there's some debug options. You can profile some stuff. Do our Intel ARM processors come with the Intel management engine? I have no idea. I mean, I haven't seen any Intel ARM machines in a while. Look at this for a second. Right, special cases. So it should be these two. These are at this side of the vector, right? Moving. Right, they're changing it to 0. Okay, so in this case, the value and 4. So man. What I hate about ARM is drivers and the restriction of usage for mobile devices. Future of what? Not installing thing? Yeah. No. That's why I wanted a device when I'm using ARM to I can have Linux on. Let's see. Move the space here. Copy this for now. I put val in both these fields. And then it's even correct. 0, 0, 1, 1, so 3 should be 0, 0. I should note something that's using this. Speaking of which, I need to check cache 3104. I need to check the assembly. No, I'm not looking at SVU code. Let's check this one. First one. Then I have this over here. My Linux. Come on. Can't do that. Tab? Oh, I clicked wrong. Why can't I see anything? Okay, that's a problem. Hello, Sakia. How much more power efficient is ARM compared to x86? Well, right now, perf per watt, I think x86 is better because it's not optimized enough. And to be honest, I don't think x86 is all that much less power efficient. I think it's mostly on the SoC itself. But I do need to get some power data. I haven't tested it on my ARM device yet. I have no idea why can't I... Probably a permissions thing. If I open this as admin, I have no idea. Not really not. Okay. Okay. Whew, that's annoying. I have to enter the folder? Am I not in it? Oh, right, I'm an idiot. Thought .bin wouldn't be a folder. Look at me. So being able to copy here is annoying, but on dump and Intel because we hate AT&T. Need a better way. I can do this, right? There we go. Oh, I had object dump. Spell it wrong. Oh, there's a space in front of my object dump. Excuse me. Let's write this out again. Yeah, there was a space. I don't know why I couldn't delete it. Object. Put this in. Alright. Right, I should test with this particular setting first. Not non-Java. Not in here. Am I optimizing a setting no one uses because it's config only? Have I tried WSL? Yeah, I've tried it before, but I don't think I have it on here. Normally developing on Linux, but this Windows setup is not very set up. Whatever. Custom config. Vector NAND values. Now, that setting really not in here? Guess not. Anyways. Try running it again. MGS4 harder to emulate or MGRR? MGRR is not too bad. Thanks for doing this and enjoying playing Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah. Runs really fast if you have the MLAA patch. Storage is very shitty, but if you have everything inside the WSL2 VM works well. Yeah. Well, it worked well when I used it, but I don't think I have it on here. Oh. Really? Oh, nothing happened. Anyways. So. I'm gonna look for, first of all, this cache folder again. Gonna overwrite all the stuff with the new setting. There we go. So first of all, let's rename this. Can obj dump. Clicking. Delete this. Alright, this one has, I don't know which one, this is the new one. These are versioned with settings, so if you change settings, it's going to recompile the PPU objects. I'm going to track this too. Then let's do the same obj dump shit. I'll just for just a sec. No control backspace? Okay. Seriously? There we go. I'm done. With nan. Space again. Can't I get rid of that space? Ah, here we go. There we go. How long have I been working on RPCS3 team? I think since like 2019 really, but very on and off. Windows 10, the reasons I don't like Windows 11. Not many major ones, but to be honest, I've just been like so busy that like I get the notification to update and then I'm like, oh, but I have to do this thing today, I have to do this thing tomorrow. I don't want to deal with any breakage. Yeah, I could put quotes around it. So code size is a bit bigger with nan. I'm gonna diff them. Let's see. Object dump with diff. I'm gonna just rename this so there's no annoying spaces. No. Excuse me. Not how diff works now. Yeah, there's an extra diff in there. Put this in a file too. Forgot to rename this .txt. So a lot that changes, but so much that changes. It's concerning. Why is this so different? Let me try and look at this. Two X diffs in there? Probably right. Should be very equal to itself somewhere. There's an actual difference. It just seems like some addresses are moved around. Maybe it's more obvious if I look at it like this. Is there any like diff in a website that's more useful? Visual diff. Alright. No syntax highlighting is kinda hell. This is a very fast website. Because it's too big. Be easy if using VSUM MPS already. Let's just go ahead and compile it. It'll be very easy to see the difference in that case. I've already written the code with my compiler. Beyond compare. I actually use beyond compare at work. VS Code's diff. Let's see. Here, open. And what is it over here? Compare active file. I don't know where it is. No. Commands. I don't know how this shit works. No, this is not the right window. Split editor. You. Sucks. If plugin, it's not default. Press F1 and type compare. Ah. Compare active file with. Okay, so I need to open it too. F1, compare active file with. Here. Huh. Aren't these the same? Diff algorithm was stopped early. Oh boy. Hold on, let me try that again. If I can change that setting. Remove limit. These are the same on both sides, right? Something's wrong here. Or do I open the same? With nan setting, no nan. It's gonna finish. Man. Return. Oh. Something wrong with my intrinsic. Cannot. Right. Should I just do this? And then that works. Beyond compare works better. Is it still going on? Once you click the button, I believe you have to re-trigger the diff. Let's try that. What was it? F1, pair active file with. It's oh man. I love RPCS3. Keep up the great work. Thanks. I think I raised the max timeout, but it's dying. Just a 13 megabyte file. It shouldn't be that bad. Even 13 megabytes? Yeah. See if it's compiled. Not convert. Having a skill issue. Not sure how to turn it into like an LLVM value type again. I'll resolve it, thanks. Yeah, it should be instant. I'm not sure this is gonna finish. What's the turns MIR result.value. It was a good suggestion, but timed out. VM diff in console. That like a Windows thing. How do I feel about AI code? I think it's fine. My problem here. How to convert it. Just to set up FBR. I know this has nothing to do with PS3 emulations. I watched your video on FPS limit patches for RPCS3. Does that mean you can make an FPS patch for Dark Souls Remastered on PC? Probably, but like to go past 60. Okay. King of Diff and Objump. Don't have this. Here? I don't know. Yeah, ISO stick for navigating large code bases. Yeah. All I've used so far is AI in browsers. Let's just try seeing AI can figure this out. I am a little stumped. Not the best programmer, to be honest. Try this. This code. Let's see what it does. It's smarter than me. If you went past 60 on DSR, you probably won't be able to click online. That's how like sophisticated the anti-cheat is. I mean, in the original Dark Souls, everyone used the 60 FPS online. Access the value field. Dot value. Smarter than me. That. What am I doing? Do you do this for fun? I donated to Patreon for a while, but didn't look like you guys make that much money compared to you that didn't like that, because they seem to do it for money, not passion. Yeah, we don't paywall things. That compiled. Thank God, Gemini's smarter than me. So, run this again. Remove the cache. Could use VFixUp MPS now. Anyways, personally, I contribute on this emulator way too on and off, so I'm not usually getting part of the Patreon money. There was one time when our lead developer at the time, Neko Tekina, took a break and he gave me some money, but for the most part, I've just been volunteering. But yeah, pretty much, I mean, it's not enough money for anybody who's working on the project, but I don't mind. And yeah, for Dark Souls, like with the original Dark Souls Rare to Die edition, you could get it past 60 FPS if you modded, like edited the config file for the FPS unlock patch. I have the same issue with like Demon Souls, Dark Souls 3. If you go like past 80 FPS, you start like running in slow motion. I've tried to fix that myself, but I actually failed. So, you know, even if you can unlock the FPS, you need to fix that issue first, which is a bit annoying. And yeah, the jump height definitely changes too, but I think the sprinting issue is more severe. So, if we're lucky, the game should work still. My code's correct. Let's ping down here. Fix the tab slowing your browsers. Probably this one. It's like frozen. Jesus. Alright. I definitely need to experiment with like AI built into the IDEs. I've never done it. Came here to say you love my videos even though you can only understand 10% of them. Thanks. Alright, so this is working. That's good. We should be able to see the difference pretty easy because I can just search for the VFixUp MPS instruction now.
That was quite the fall,
That's just
Ryder.
shader compiling.
Glad to see that you are all right. It's time you got out of Denver.
No, I actually recorded like 2 hours of Metal Gear Rising for a video once, and then I realized I didn't set up OBS properly and all the footage was black. I restarted the boss so many times to get a clean run too. Sad. Anyway, let's see where we are. So, should be looking here. This one. Extract files. Oh crap, what did I did different than last time? I'll just put in the same directory. Folder. Extract here. There we go. So we have the same one, same file. dump it to object p fix up in yes. Same size as with Nan. Let's see. Really? Not in here? Why is that? And use AVX512. It returns. Copilot button. Try it a minute. At my job, a developer is retiring and we're using AI to help knowledge transfer. AIs are getting good. Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago I was really skeptical on AI, but now they're getting too good to ignore. Now, not sure what I'm doing wrong, unless I'm looking at the wrong file here. It's usually the identical size, which is concerning. Right, do SYS. This one, let me just close this one, it's distracting me. This one. Just do the obvious thing. Add a log. Am I even hitting this code? Hello. It feels like they did something to Copilot in recent months, so now it makes stuff up. Yeah. I don't know. Microsoft loves cost saving. As long as I don't have to Google into Stack Overflow. Yeah, I mean, there was some pretty good knowledge in Stack Overflow, but when it comes to low-level stuff, there were like 2 or 3 guys who taught me a lot of stuff. I mean, not me personally, but you know what I mean. Oh, I know what happened. I probably didn't copy over the executable. Need a better setup. On Linux, on Windows, the RPCS3 is local to a folder. On Linux, it's not, so I'm more used to that. Where's my RPCS3 anyways? Close, didn't I? How do I close that window? Helps if we're running the correct binary. Anyway, there's this one. The only reason I know anti-gravity exists was mentioned at a conference. I read a thing on it. I didn't bother to install it. Or to find any documentation on low-level programming. I think like the Intel optimization manual is like one of the best things, but the funny thing is that it hasn't been updated in like a year. It's missing like they used to update it very fast, but the Intel optimization manual. See when it was last updated. Well, I think this one's a bit too old, 2023. It's not right either. Manual here. Innovation. Volume 50, this should be right. So this is from April 2024, so it doesn't have Arrow Lake in here. It has Meteor Lake. Like, where Panther Lake's coming out. So this is pretty sad. But even so, like, you want to learn how to optimize for ARM, the Intel optimization manual is still useful because a lot of the stuff that's in a modern ARM CPU was added to an Intel CPU first. Like, in terms of, we talk about reorder buffers, talk about out of order execution. It is all relevant to like, any modern processor, really. Yeah, Felix Feather is just a repost of the Intel x86 manual. Alright, so I should be able to get a proper dump now. I was planning on writing some scripts to make this obj dump stuff easier, but ran out of time before the stream. So let's just leave this one because it's obviously bunk. Go. Fix up. Really? Something very wrong. Not even showing up in the log file, so MU's AVX512 not in here? Speak of the devil. This even in here? This is, so am I getting the log message? It doesn't look like it. What am I doing wrong? I'm not 7:45 p.m. Wait. Failed to compile. Did I mess up here? Trying to emulate PS3 CPU instructions? Yeah. Huh? What the hell? 481.19. Put a typo here, didn't I? 481. What is this? How did I manage this? There we go. Jesus. Look at my skill issues. Skill issue stream. Is there a reason why Zen 2 CPUs kind of suck with RPCS3? The split core doesn't help, but it's also not a major problem. Const object must be initialized. const on there. How am I using it here? Right, these are const. And why'd they have to be const? Anyone figured out how to deal with P-cores yet? I mean, P-cores themselves are fine. And with Arrow Lake, not Arrow Lake, what is it? Nova Lake, they'll finally get AVX 512 again. There's some like subtle differences with the when we do the Power PC code and the SBU code, which always messes me up. Which probably be value. I don't know. Music. Left of value must have passed our opinion. Expects 5 arguments for provided. It's flat in here, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me. I do use Arc Linux, but I have a 1080p screen and I'm streaming in 4K. I don't know how to set that up on Linux. Yeah, I'm just gonna defer to AI, I think, to keep the stream moving. Where are we here? Figure it out. Better at assembly than all this casting stuff. Let's get to value. It's hallucinating some stuff. I need to make it cast. OBS works fine. Yeah, but I have a 1080p screen. I'm using like the virtual super resolution to get a 4K screen. If I do bitcast, Create. Create bitcast. F32 4. Not a good example here. I need to do val value because it's the pointer? Maybe. That's probably smarter than me. Don't use auto. Well, all of our recompilers are already a bad practice. Look at this. Beautiful. Auto everywhere. For very few places where we don't use auto. Everywhere. Value is not a member of LLVM value. So I just use this type. I don't even know how this shit works. Try it like this. Struggling to program. I'm also a brainlet, but normally I program well-edited videos so you don't get to see me fail. Once object must be initialized. First two value paths are defined as a const first, yeah. I'm trying this. Cannot be used before it's initialized. Something wrong with this? Not here. These are the ones that... These aren't immediates. At least we have proof you're human, yeah. Type pointed to our unrelated. Save me. Saw you on some RPCS3 YouTube improve. Remember new? Oh yeah. Remember I fell off that ledge on Demon Souls thing on with KD11? Yeah. No matter how much we recorded, I kept dying like an idiot. It's pretty funny. Graph the result of your bitcast. What the fuck is a git value? I've never used this. I can try this, but I I haven't seen this, so I don't trust it. Rob Bitcast, get the raw pointer. You can try it. Be committing it like this, even if it works though. Generally only use auto when the type of an expression is trivial without external knowledge. Argument list missing after assumed function template JIT value. I don't even think this exists. We don't use it. You the ones who test RPCS3, or did it happen to be you and KD11? Well, for Demon Souls, we were the ones that were available. Not everyone else had the game and characters with online available. Five, three. Are functions like the fix up MPS just wrappers around inline ASM? Yeah, sort of. It's not quite inline ASM, this is an intrinsic, but the intrinsic maps basically one-to-one to assembly. Try to use a debugger. No, it's not running, it's failing on compile. Okay. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing. No. Yes, LVM types. Maybe I shouldn't be changing these to const auto. Last resort, read the docs. The LVM documentation, very beautiful. looking for. Where's the... I don't even know where normally look. This is what I'm looking for. Where is it? This. No. Not this. Song. It's this. I'm gonna go to the washroom actually real quick. Be back. Alright, I'm back. They still make fun of people who spam asking if a certain game is playable on RPCS3? Yeah. So, still not really sure. No, this isn't gonna work, but try and get unstuck here. Welcome back, thanks. Big error. I want to move on from this, so get a new chat. Try pro. Stupid type issue. Say please, now it's gonna work. What do you think the project could look like in 5 or 10 years? Hopefully a lot more polished. think in 5 or 10 years, people's computers are going to be fast enough that a lot of games are playable. I mean, right now, a lot of the games that aren't playable, they're just not playable because someone hasn't tested them or because you need a faster computer. Like, I beat this game, Ninja Gaiden 3, but I never bothered making a playable report, so that's why it's marked as in-game. Improving clarity of fix. Lambda, get Val. Doesn't feel like a good solution, man. Is there or are there plans to create an ARM64 backend? There's already an ARM64 backend. And just recently, I added some optimization, more of a fix than an optimization, but I got on this silly little Odin 2 device running Linux from 27 to 30 FPS in Metal Gear Rising. Auto Valcast. Sure. Can't hurt. Probably just a problem with how I've written vfix up MPS. These ones are using not const auto. These are too. I don't know. You fixed my problem, man? You a genius? Odin 2, yeah. An Android, like, handheld device, but I put Linux on it. Yeah, The Last of Us is pretty heavy. Also, like, I think the Frostbite 2 engine games from EA, like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. Oh yeah, oh, I've seen you contribute some things, thanks. Generating code. I star this message or something? Pin message, report, remove, put user in timeout. Add as moderator. Sure. You get moderator for fixing it. Sony NBA games need to be worked on, they crash frequently. The developers don't really look at sports games, so people don't tend to look at them unless stuff is reported, but even then... I press enter or something? Yeah, that's why it was taking so long, Jesus. I paused it by clicking on it. So there, we finally have a new executable. Alright. Now, should finally be able to get the expected result. Remove the cache. It's 3 AM here and you have work today. Well, good luck. Playing in the background. It's all just Toho Bossa Nova. There's like 12 albums of this. So we are hitting the sanity check. Whew. Thought this was gonna be an easy one. I mean, it was easy, I just have a big skill issue with LLVM. I mean, people are watching anyways. Let's see, 102, holy crap. Recently downloaded all the Toho Bossa Nova songs onto your iPod. You still use an iPod? Be able to test this now. So 1 kilobytes. Interesting. This. Take this. Crap, what did I just... Okay, I'm gonna delete that. We're good. I thought I deleted everything. Pause this. My RPCS3 window. And file sizes are different, thank God. So, what I can do this time, over here, take this, and we can compare these. So, got VFix up MPS over here, 420. And here we have the comparison, and then a broadcast. That's how it does the select, I guess. And so yeah, it saves one instruction. Beautiful. I always like checking the assembly just to make sure. Anyways, I didn't realize this was a config file only option, so no one's gonna even benefit from this. Get rid of this. What are some of the other things I was gonna look at? Might be difficult. You have your instruction counts. Yeah, VFix up MPS, I think it's like same speed as the comparison instruction anyways. So the that's this. Yeah. So this instruction, find it in the Altavec manual. It takes this packed value of RGB values, 5 bits, 5 bits, 5 bits, 1 bit for alpha, and it expands it into 8-bit values. So it expands 16-bit value into 8-bit values. I was thinking I can use multi-shift QB to do that. I was in a code review where I saved an instruction in a system call, and the argument about the instruction was longer than the time it would save for the code was run in a loop for 1,000 years. Pretty funny. This is another instruction where it might be too rare to actually see it. I don't want to test this stuff before I stream it, but well, I didn't prepare properly and now we're here. Let's go and see. Metal Gear Rising uses the instruction. Now, if I can optimize it with multi-shift QB, it would be actually pretty good. I should show you guys what multi-shift QB is before I talk about it. Awesome. Instruction's so rare, even Google doesn't know about it. So this instruction, it does like a shuffle, but it's a unaligned shuffle, so essentially here's my code. All of these are being shifted and anded by different values. With multi-shift QB, we can just shift essentially by doing shuffle, unaligned shuffle. We should be able to do all of these shifts at the same time. Oh, right, I didn't update the message. Thanks, man. Oh, hey, Perry. You worked on Ryujinx, right? Or am I thinking of someone else? Yeah, you're sad it's over? You working on any other projects? You've been staying away from emulation, that kind of stuff? You remind me of what optimization was like in the past. Yeah, the whole thing where artists create shaders by like clicking on stuff in the GUI seems pretty fishy to me. Save the file before rebuilding? Yeah. Now you guys are seeing that I always make the stupidest mistakes possible. Let's copy it from here. Right. Excuse me. Working on other stuff outside of emulation was only really interested in Switch. Yeah. I suspect this game isn't going to use these pixel unpack instructions. Which is a shame because it's a very good optimization. Look at... Right. So much spam, what have I done? There's a reason I haven't optimized these in the past. They're too rare. Doesn't show up at all. Where do you even start to go into emulation stuff? Look at the code and look for something to fix. What do you think of Sony's first PS3 emulated game on PS5? I think they picked a really funny game. I mean, I looked up the footage of that game and it was running in RPCS3 in like 2015 on like the slowest settings possible. Why use Qt instead of GTK for the UI? I think it used to use GTK. It was changed in like 2017, 2018. My ideas are being foiled by how rare the instructions are. Let's try seeing if Ninja Gaiden has any of these. I can do this. Never even done that before. New feature I haven't discovered. I suspect these instructions aren't going to show up here either. I should have looked for games that use these instructions off stream. Well, whatever. Chill stream, I guess. Live scripts and collect instruction trace data? No, not really. I just do it like a caveman with these log functions. Do it manually. Anyways, in general, for like SPU stuff, I prioritize the most important instructions. Like, we look at Shuff B here, yeah? This instruction has all this code just for like making special cases slightly faster. But really, emulate this instruction properly. All we need is this. We could even get rid of this. That's all we actually need, just these few lines of code. But these are just special cases to make shit faster. Because, not only is this like, one of the most common SPU instructions, it's also one of the most complicated to emulate, so it's pretty important that it goes fast. First streams are always janky, yeah, I bet. Alright, see. Nothing, not even the other horizontal instruction. Little Big Planet is an exclusive, so maybe it uses some interesting instructions. This game, not multi-platform at all. Use RAM with ECC? No. I use regular old RAM, overclocked manually. Don't really tend to have problems. Probably have... Still loading shaders, wow. Here we go. Even this game isn't using them. This one's actually interesting. Alright. How is it not? Oh, I'm looking wrong. This one could be equivalent to this instruction on x86. See what else. Just a few usages, 4 usages of this one instruction. Wow. Do I use C++ for my real life job? No. I wish. So, first, this is how I like doing things. Let's go ahead. Dump this. 8, 5. Someone asked if you even save the source before compiling. Yeah, I mean, dude, emulating PS4 easier than PlayStation because of the architecture. In some ways, yeah. Also, something underrated is that some of the ease is not due to like architecture, but software too. Like like a PlayStation 4 game, it has this big pool of RAM, so you might think, oh, the CPU can touch memory often, but there's not much reason to. But on the PlayStation 3, even though the memory is not split, games will do things like do anti-aliasing on the CPU. What am I doing? And that requires copying the data from the host GPU, do the anti-aliasing on the CPU, and then copying it back. Which one? There are 2 here. This one. I don't have a right settings. Is it SPU debug? I think this should dump the LLVM stuff for SPU. Let's try again. Always fact I thought that PS4 split its VRAM and RAM from the same pool was an interesting choice. And that's just like an integrated graphics thing in general. And it's not really so much split, but I think it's something to do with the TLB, where you just reserve some area and the GPU has the TLB for that amount of RAM. Demon Souls has 2 copies of its entire code and assets on its Blu-ray. So is that why it's so big? It's pretty funny. I think it could fit it on like a DVD. Alright, so now we have the LLVM, and I want this one, I believe. Or no. I need to look at it in the log file, I'm not sure. Huh? Right, what am I talking about? It's not an SPU. It's here the whole time. So. Back this. Now. No idea which one this is. L5. And then of them. Dodge. Alright. For next stream you need a current song overlay. I guess I could figure out how to set that up. And share their playlist. It's all Toho Bossa Nova. Just search it up on YouTube. Alright, so SBS, UBS. So, in theory, it should be equivalent to this instruction with the data first. This instruction is unsigned by signed, so need to be careful which one we put the data into. But I believe I don't have the saturated version in here. Should just be this, I believe. See if that compiles real quick. Los Lab viewer? No, I've like clicked on his things briefly. I'm gonna be right back. Alright, sorry about that, guys. It's compiled. So in theory, should be something similar to, if I look here, we create some zeros, and Oh no, this is the wrong instruction. Should be something similar to here. My notes. One, so should basically be this. Wait. No, no, no. Well, let's just try writing it and see what happens. If what's up BB do here? Let me reread the instruction. Add VA and VB. Add the sum of 4 unsigned bytes in word VA to the unsigned word element in VB. Place the results in the corresponding unsigned word element in VB. Why do the names always look like a cat walked across the keyboard? That's what they do. So even see how the intermediate result could be that big. But wait, how big is a word element in here? Word 32-bit, not 16-bit? This isn't x86. No, word is packed to a half word. Yeah, it's 32 bits. Okay, that makes sense then. So this should be not quite like this. I shouldn't use the zeros. But I guess take this. Don't need zeros. Looks like D is the one. So let's just put this here. Hold on. We'll just take this Q32. it should be EA1s in theory. This way it will do unsigned. This needs to be S for the saturated version. Well, the way this works. The analytics. We're compiling. Viewer activity. Stream health. Excellent. And streaming 2 hours, not bad. Now would be a good time to insert ads. How about no? Alright. Look, Mom, I'm on TV. My mom actually might be watching. Who's winning, me or Bugs? I think I'm losing against myself in general. Alright. Wild. Most jank. Setup. Alright. Probably did the wrong one, by the way, when I was decompiling. Bob jump. Figure that out in a minute. Alright. Little Big Planet. Remove the shader cache will boot faster. Little Big Planet. No ads. I think I turned on pre-roll ads, but I told it to do like the midstream ads manually because I didn't want to run any. I mean, I could have ran them when I went to the bathroom, I guess, but whatever. Toho Boss Nova is much bigger than Uos Lab. Alright, so you ever play games with your viewers? Sure, I guess. But maybe after I move house. I hope my internet will be good enough to stream. Let's see if this still runs. Or if I cocked it up completely. Oh, it runs, so that's good news. Not sure if this is the correct object. Let's look at the assembly. Here we go. Here, and I think I looked at the wrong file. Yeah, because there's a different one than last time. I need my log to tell me which object I'm in. Someone will sponsor your internet. I mean, I think the internet quality can be from a good provider. It's just the location doesn't have the best internet. Look the log file. Oh, all right. I changed something. It goes in here. Log. There we go. It's calling your code interesting. That's good, right? Should be calling it. Right. Here's the better idea. Some instruction. This. Where are you? Probably lowercase. VSUM. Really? No, I'm looking PowerPC code, not SPU code. One 1.5. I need to look for there, it finished here, so it should be this one. This was the one that should have the instruction. My music stopped. Here we go. Start over. So we tried to steal the homework from Valve Proton, or is the homework different? Homework's pretty different. Maybe looking at the specs, you know, their x86 ARM translation might be interesting for I should delete this first. It might be interesting for the ARM port. How often do I work on RPCS3? It's been pretty on and off. Like, I can show you really quick. If I go to here, and we can look at pull requests from what cookie. Look at the closed ones. Oh, I did some stuff last week, 5 days ago, but then before that, March 25th, 2025, March 22nd, March 15th, March 3rd, March 7th, February 22nd. So I took pretty much a year break from doing stuff, but I was making those videos this whole time, so what was I doing? Ops dump after, need to get rid of the old one. Here. Where's this fine? I don't think this is the same one. Let's check. It can't be. Well, let's just see if it has the instruction. How long have I been working on the project? I'll show you again. Let's see. Could be 2019 really. I did this in 2017, but when I started doing real stuff was 2019. I was just doing like tiny stuff. Oh, I logged something. Fix inaccurate FPS counter. Well, it took me a while before I was doing like optimizations for SPU, for LLVM. So I'll jump after. Wrong. What did I do wrong? You know, old AVX and SSE would have performance penalties when using one instruction after the other. Newer CPUs still have this, yeah, to a certain extent. But since AVX 512 adds like 16 more registers, you can use those, and then you never have to worry about the penalty because SSE instructions can't access the extra registers. So if you look at like glibc memcopy, they actually use that so that they don't have to do v0 upper. ARM port would be neat, but I haven't heard the best things about SVE2. Yeah, there is an ARM port, and I've been looking into SVE2, and it's gonna be a pain to like use it where it's useful because mixing it in Neon isn't so straightforward if you're not writing assembly directly. It's a bit harder with LLVMIR. So it's just check. Hold on. Find all this in the background. Oh! I need a return. And I need a set VR. Also, this might not even be useful because I don't have this set SAT. S plus B. Might be a useless optimization. Well. Value of split is hard-coded. KMI. Peanut butter. Splat. In this case, we're multiplying by 1 in each 8-bit value. The idea is that this instruction, it does multiplication by a value, and then it does horizontal addition after that. And so the little trick is to multiply by 1, and then we just get horizontal addition. There's the whole multiplication. They could just make this instruction without the multiplication be nice and easy, but too bad. MSVC is a very fast compiler, as you can see. All right. So, I think this is going to end up being pretty useless, but whatever. Where am I going? Get out of here. Alright, I need to remove the cache. I playtest games on RPCS3 often. Yeah, fairly often. This one, right? Right. Okay. Back here. Expect. And always so lost. There with fix. It's a little different. Instruction I'm looking for. This. Right, there it is. Wonder why MSVC still exists. LLVM and Clang are pretty good. I think LLVM is a lot faster on Windows, but it's easier to use MSVC. I mean, we have some builds with Clang on for RPCS3, and I think it's like a good 10% faster than MSVC, but there were some issues where it was like including like 300 megabytes of library, so we're not shipping it. Why not make a bat that compiles and copy the exe? Yeah, I should, if I was smart. I was gonna set all that up before stream, but I didn't end up having the time. Right, so if we check this in the same one, be able to see the difference in the code. Excuse me. Good finding. Here. So scroll down to here. Really? Okay. Could be this. Yeah. Alright, I guess there's some extra lines for copying shit. So, before it's all this stuff. It's this, but kind of missing this. Which is a problem. Might have to shelve this one. Okay. Okay. Sure. MSVC has incremental linking. That's like where you only compile some of the files, right? Or am I getting confused? Crazy how far RPCS3 has come. Yeah, most of them work. Well, I guess I could do it twice and then once with unsigned, once with signed. Let's see, set sat. Let's see if I can find this in here. Oh, the helper's somewhere else. Okay. One thing I could do in that case is use the unsigned version alongside the signed version. That's going to be expensive because they're both multiplies. Well, let's just do it for completeness sake. Linux terminal will make your life much easier. Yeah, I'm used to Linux. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. What game's the final boss in terms of getting it to run well and accurately in RPCS3? I think other than like The Last of Us, any of the Frostbite 2 engine games like Battlefield 3 and 4, games that are doing like software rendering on the SBUs is pretty tough. Incremental linking goes even further and reuses the same exe between compilations. Oh, I've never tried that. So in theory, should just be able to do this, all this VX for some reason. Move the S here for the unsigned version. Set, sat, R, or S, no, AX. No, it should just be AX or TX. The idea is if they differ, then it'll be a non-zero value. Bit insane. Sure. Problem is, I don't know if this is faster than the original code anymore. That should be in here. this works. The current blockage for more performance on God of War 3 and Ascension. Pretty much mostly SPU performance, so these optimizations aren't even going to make a dent in it. Right. Caveman mode. Too many windows open now. Alt tab is falling apart. I forgot to PPU cache. Dragon Guard. Thanks for all your work. Have fun optimizing. Thanks, sure. I think RPCS3 is the point like polishing a razor, or can we expect a lot more code optimizations? I think for the most part, most of the low-hanging fruit is picked, but I've been looking at the ARM build, and that has a lot of more low-hanging fruit to pick. Half the stream is just staring at compiling RPCS3 itself, or compiling the games. Alright. This again. Again. And let's look. Not even sure if these are different. No, they don't, so I'm confused on what the set sat thing even does. Open source my pattern scanner. Sounds nice. 956. That's the right one. I always use GitHub for searching code. I don't know how to do it. That's sad. Ah. That's why. It's a config option. Alright. Is it a config file only option? Nothing cares about this then. Of course. A lot of text files, yeah. Well, that's good then. I don't need to worry too much about the extra I'm losing my train of thought. Look at this. I don't need to worry about the set sat thing. Probably have to do 2 multiplies, but this should be correct. I need to test this later. That's a nice optimization. So, should be able to do similar things, but I'm going to need to find games that actually use them off stream because these instructions are just that rare. But essentially, you know, I already figured this out off stream, and that's what we did here. For this instruction, we can use this instruction, but the same instruction, but with the ones and data flipped around, so we can do signed multiplication basically. And then this one, it operates on 16-bit values rather than 8-bit values, so we can just use the 16-bit equivalent. But these instructions are way too rare, which unfortunately means there's going to be pretty much no benefit
thrills and spills,
actually optimizing this stuff.
To do? Well, Craft World.
Anyway, the game seems to be still be working, so
Sorting out. Choose a creator.
Oh. Wait a sec. I'm not as young as I used to be
great.
in my youth. What's that?
Yeah, probably runs like 0% faster realistically.
Hello? Victoria? Angel Cake?
Oh, my house! Oh, years of building and baking.
All right, that's enough of this.
Plug hole.
Never even completed Little Big Planet. So may as well just do this one too. Why do we... whatever. Essentially, we just do this. This for now. It's 32. And then that's gonna work. What did I do here? 32. Ah, I see. So I'll just do here. And we're gonna shift around ones. Ones. I think that should work, but I need to test that. It's essentially the same instruction, but signed instead of unsigned. And this weird x86 instruction does unsigned by signed multiplication, so just put the ones in the right slot. It should work. I'm writing instructions code. Why does it sound like they're trying to clear their throats? Because there's a lot of old men coming up for the names of these instructions, and they've been smoking. You have a fave optimization hack that a PlayStation 3 game uses that you have found. I have quite a few patterns in here that we pattern match on. Not quite. No. Yeah, here, FSM. A lot of games use FSM following a comparison to fill a whole vector with the result of the comparison from the scalar comparison. It's hard to tell the optimizations when you're just looking at assembly, like what they're trying to do. I'm more looking for common patterns when I'm looking at assembly rather than like unique, super cool patterns. Multiple definitions. Right. TBN records, yeah. So this one, I don't think I've added something for... Well, I don't have an intrinsic for it. I'll do that later. This one is 16-bit. Can M use VNNIB compile time? No, because we're emitting LLVMIR at runtime. That's like when you're doing the compile PPU module step of running RPCS3. And so if your computer doesn't have VNNI instructions, it's not going to emit the code for them. The idea is we have one RPCS3 build, and you don't need like an AVX512 build, you don't need an AVX2 build, you don't need an SSE build. We're just going to emit the best instructions for you at runtime. Alright. I don't have anything to test this in, but I think that's right. It's getting pretty late, so I'll probably stop soon. Play just 1 minute of Metal Gear Rising for fun. And I'm gonna sign off. How many people have been watching? 1.5 thousand people, average viewers, 100. Not bad. Chat rate. When's the next stream? I'm gonna be moving, so might be a while. It'll be easier to use type def on hex 0 hex codes. Like, I mean, like on this type of stuff. Do you have any idea as to why some AVX512 instructions don't run if compiled with MSVC? It just goes to fallback depending on what pattern it scans for. It's compiled with no issues. I'm not sure if you're using intrinsics or like inline assembly. Okay, let's It's your first stream? Yeah, it's my first stream. That's why it's so scuffed.
That was quite the fall, Raiden. I'm glad to see that you are all right. It's time you got out of Denver. I got him.
prefer more next time. I just wanted to get this out of the way before I move. I promised you guys in December. I stream. Did it. It is a game is well out of my mic, sorry. It is tough to read chat at the same time you're playing.
Raiden, are you all right?
I can handle this. You just get those brains out of here.
Turn down the sound a bit.
And what will you do?
Get out of here and to the launch site.
Ah, the young ladies' company, yeah? How fortunate they are in Colorado, too.
There we go.
Shouldn't take more than 2 hours with a set of wheels.
YouTube did its job for once and made a good suggestion. I'm glad.
The cars got abandoned when the evac order came down.
But if you...
I know.
Yeah, YouTube's not too bad for streaming, I think. I mean, first stream, like 100 viewers. If I was on Twitch, I mean, I'd have to be pinging everybody to come over on Twitch, because you have no discoverability if you have 0 viewers. On YouTube, it actually kind of works. A lot of zero hex codes, putting them in headers might be good. Yeah, probably. There's a lot of stuff that could be cleaned up. I mean, the like SVU LVM files are not so they're not used by many people, so kind of just what works. Getting beat up. Everybody kicking. Shit. There we go. Almost died like an idiot. My favorite game? It's a hard question to answer. No, it's not a hard question to answer. It's Ocarina of Time. And my second favorite game is Majora's Mask. Sometimes my favorite game is Majora's Mask, and my second favorite game is Ocarina of Time. You organically discover the stream. Wouldn't happen on Twitch. That's why everyone view bots on Twitch. I mean, you just can't play without view botting. Fuck it, 0 viewers forever. Still getting beat up. There we go. FPS unlocked, only to 60. Crap, that still hit. Oh crap. And die to bullets. Oh crap. Use the recovery. Whatever. Beat him up. There we go. game's tick rate's manually set to 60. No, I can drop to like a 40 FPS, and so I think that's a dynamic tick rate. But I think the game. Some people have unlocked the game on like PC, and I saw some clip, and they were like falling through an elevator. Streamers have to view bot on viewing platforms like Kick and Twitch. This is coming from someone who's made tens of thousands of streaming dollars before. Yeah. Yeah, they really should make a sequel to this. I mean, apparently they were before Konami, like, exploded. Thanks for making RPCS3, yeah. I mean, in terms of volume of code, I haven't made that many contributions, holy crap. But, I have made some nice optimizations. Game's natively 60, yeah it is. What do you do to like fly to them with the stinger? Might be embarrassing, but this is my only Metal Gear game I've played. Never played 2 or anything. Of course, I've like seen it quoted so much, like over the years, that I know a lot of the twists and everything.
I have located a route with relatively light security. I will mark the heading on your Soliton radar.
Stealth.
Disobey the evacuation.
No way, yeah, sorry. Good. They already died.
I will join you in Pakistan. I will find a way to
Honestly, I haven't had much time to play games in the past year at all, so
contact you when I am on the ground.
I have a bunch of unplayed games on my Steam and everything. I think after I finish this level, I'll close the stream. Hopefully this year I can do some game maxing. Yeah. I'm more interested in RPCS3 streams than me playing games. Always funny when they parry you. Built-in CTV. And then I see on MSVC there's an intrinsic, which
You
is
have
the
escaped
same.
the pursuit?
Seems like it.
I'm
You
not
have
sure.
passed the last of the barricades.
Oh yeah, I've
Find a vehicle.
I bought Ninja Gaiden 4 on sale, but I haven't had a chance to play it. I was planning on streaming it, but in December, but then I got sick, and now I'm moving, so
That should do nicely.
I thought I should do the programming stream first because that's the one people were interested in. Alright, I guess this is done. Alright. Guess I'm done. Somewhat fruitful. We optimized 3 things. The interesting thing is that ARM actually has similar instructions to these. They have their own, these are AI instructions, they have their own AI instructions in like S dot and U dot. So later I'll port these to ARM 2. Might have some impact because those ARM machines are kind of anemic. At least the ones I'm testing on. I'm not using a laptop, I'm using very underpowered handhelds. Anyways, it was nice streaming. A little stressed at the start, but it wasn't too bad. Yeah, might stream again sometime. Anyways, see you guys.